It's June 4th, 2023, and Jochen Zeitz is out as CEO of LiveWire Motorcycles. The new CEO is Karim Donnez. So the question is, who is Karim Donnez and what is he going to do at LiveWire? Now, before we get into it, it's pretty amazing what's going on here. If you look at Karim's background, he was actually involved in the buying of the assets of Alta Motors when they went out of business, and he bought the assets when he was at BRP and actually started a group at Can-Am called BRP EV, and they are currently working on some motorcycles at BRP, electric motorcycles as well as electric Sea-Doos and electric go-karts, all kinds of things. But he's been over at BRP working in the Marine Division, and now he's moved to LiveWire. So it's kind of like there's a lot of people at Alta, or a lot of previous people from Alta Motors at LiveWire. There's people from Mission Motorsports, and he's part of this group of people that's been floating around in the power sports electric motorcycle areas. So he's the new guy. So the question is, what is Karim Donnez, or who is he, and what is he going to do at LiveWire? So let's take a look and see who he is. He was born in Paris. He's a 43-year-old die-hard rugby fan who's played in the Canadian Rugby League as both a player and a certified coach. He's got a master's degree in engineering from a school in Paris. I don't know how to say the name, something Paris Tech in France. He's got an MBA from HEC Montreal in Canada, and he's got a certificate in artificial intelligence. Now, I have no idea what a certificate in artificial intelligence is, but he got one from the Sloan School of Management at MIT. And he's a former group president at BRP. So he was actually the group president of the Marine Division at BRP, which has, come out with all kinds of cool products, or even working on a hydrofoil surfboard. So, he's been in this industry. He's seen some things, and basically I think he's the right person for the job. And the reason is he understands engineering, he understands business, he's a technologist, he's already had some success at BRP. I mean, he's doing well. He's making over $1 million a year at BRP, so who knows what LiveWire is paying him. He knows how to run with the ball, and he's young enough to manage through the complete transformation to electric power sports. Now, what I mean by this is we're at 2023. He's 43. 20 years from now, it's going to be 2043, and we're going to be completely transitioned off of fossil fuels for the power sport industry, no question. Harley Davidson doesn't have any future in gas motorcycles. It's all going electric. Harley knows this, or at least Jochen Zeitz knows this, and that's why LiveWire is the most important thing that Harley Davidson is doing. They're basically guaranteeing their future by leading the transition to electric. But anyway, he's the right person for the job. Now, I do have a few pieces of advice. I did a video on April 2nd of this year called Time for a Top Management Shakeup at LiveWire Motorcycles. That was on April 2nd, a little over 60 days ago. And I talk in there about what I think the management at LiveWire has been doing wrong, at least the top management, what they need to improve. So I won't rehash all of that here, but I did want to say a few things. First of all, do not throw out the baby with the bathwater. I understand there's going to be big cuts, there's going to be big reorganizations, there's going to be a lot of changes at LiveWire, but there are some extremely capable people there. There are some extremely good products there, and be very careful to not let people go or kill products that are really, really good. So just be very, very careful, because there's very talented people at LiveWire and great products at LiveWire. Secondly, resist the temptation to cut cost at the expense of quality. there's a huge downward, or there's a huge push for downward prices on electric motorcycles. And it would be easy to get there by taking shortcuts in terms of product shortcuts, marketing, sales shortcuts, all kinds of shortcuts. So I understand that the price needs to come down and costs need to come down, but you need to maintain the quality of LiveWire. The quality is very high, not just well, I think you get the picture what I'm talking about there. And also focus on the blending of software and hardware to achieve a great experience. Now, this is something that I think you're going to be better at than anybody, because from what I've read about you, you are a technology kind of person. I think you understand especially the importance of software in motorcycles and power sports going forward. And then lastly, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I think there's a giant opportunity in the electrification of motorcycles to make them a lot safer. And I think you need to look for those innovations. I think a cool short-term thing you could do is for everyone who buys the LiveWire Del Mar between now and the end of the year, maybe they should get a free Tech Air airbag to wear with what they have with the bike. I think the latest one is the Tech Air 5. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a lot of things that can be done to make electric motorcycles safe. Really like to see LiveWire focus on those things. And then, of course, one last thing is you need to read this book. It's called The Manager and the Monk. It's a great book. I can't imagine working at LiveWire and not reading this book. It will help you understand Jochen Zeitz, how he thinks, what his mission in life is, what his mission for Harley Davidson is, what his mission for LiveWire is, and it's wonderful that you have an opportunity to read something like this. Mr. Zeitz took 2 years to write it, and it's a very serious book. It's a very good book, and I think you'd be well served to read it to better understand who Jochen is and the vision that he has for Harley Davidson. So anyway, with that, I'll be doing a lot of videos in the future. Looking forward to riding the Del Mar pretty soon here. But have a great evening.